have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm Jeff, alongside with me as always is Scholar Tarek. How's it going, sir?
Everything is going well. I just finished my Taco Bell dinner, and hopefully will not come back to haunt me.
And hopefully it won't come back to haunt me in the process.
How would it haunt you?
Let's see. Taco Bell, it can only go so many ways.
See, it's understandable, because, yeah, it'll come back to haunt you. But I had the Taco Bell. Hopefully, it will not come back to haunt me during this recording.
Or me. Or anybody.
You had Taco Bell?
No. I'm talking about farts, dude. Farts.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to keep this a mature show. You know, it's called Subtlety.
You're talking about the wrong show, fool.
I know I am, aren't I?
And
These are the jokes.
And it was a very good week to bring on these jokes. It was a very good week in wrestling.
Yeah, figures I miss a couple weeks of the show due to other reasons, and then suddenly Raw is good again. Who knew?
Who knew that the WrestleMania hangover was actually a bad thing, but now the whole thing with Extreme Rules, the Extreme Rules hangover that was happening before and after. Now, with Extreme Rules over, yay! It's actually been a good couple weeks.
Yes, it has, including in the world of the dirt sheets and just a little thing we like to call backstage news.
Indeed, let us peek behind the curtain and check in on a little backstage news. News.
Did that work all right?
Actually, that worked very well.
Yeah, unfortunately, our man Brian couldn't join us tonight. He is out on assignment.
Who knows what that assignment is, but you know what? Good luck on that assignment, Sir Brian.
Just come back alive, please.
As alive as you can be. Alive enough so you can be able to record next week.
Okay, I was just tempted to make a really horrible segue just then into our first news item. So I'm not going to open with that item, and instead I'm going to talk about the latest feature on ESPN's E60. The documentary they just recently did on NXT.
I actually did not watch this because I actually had no idea this was happening. I actually heard responses from it, or links to responses from it, and I'm just like, what are they talking about? ESPN, NXT, what is this?
In short, it's basically a documentary on how NXT works circa maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and just going into that scene and seeing who's around, and it specifically focuses on 3 people. Xavier Woods, Tyler Breeze, and Adam Rose. And they focused very closely on Adam Rose in particular.
Of all the names you can focus on, you focus on those 3? And you focus it on ESPN!
Hey, you laugh now, but...
Was it actually very good?
It actually really was. They focus a lot on what was going on with Adam Rose before he actually became Adam Rose, when he was still Leo Kruger. And sort of the mindset between that transition and what his home life is like.
Interesting.
Yeah. And just the stories he's got, even outside of the Adam Rose gimmick, it's actually really fascinating.
And you go inside his house and you just see a bunch of rosebuds caged in. Please, let us out, please. Not until you do the Adam Rose dance. Yes! My minions.
Remember, what do I say? Don't be a lemon.
Don't be a lemon.
You're being a lemon.
Okay.
Turn that frown upside down. What should you be instead?
A rosebud?
Good boy.
I just made this creepy, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Considering it's actually a legit good story between him and like his sick child.
Wow, I am a horrible person.
Yeah, he's got like a sick child who has like a really nasty stomach condition.
Aww.
Where he can't actually eat solid foods or something. He needs to be given formula through like a tube in his stomach.
Oh,
yeah, it's really nasty.
Damn.
Yeah, it really makes you feel for the guy. I wish it could really make you... it makes you want to care about the guy behind Adam Rose. Doesn't make the gimmick any better.
You know, it makes you respect the guy, but you don't respect the character. It makes you think, oh, he should actually be doing a gimmick better than what he's doing now.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Which, funny you mention that. Right after that aired, he even went to Twitter and asked people, hey, do you want me to stick with Adam Rose, or do you want me to switch back over to Leo Kruger?
Gee, I wonder what everyone is going to say as I look at a camera that's not there. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Actually, I don't know.
If you actually get that reference, I applaud you. But, yeah, continue.
Actually, I don't... I was thinking about this, and I don't really know. Like, I've seen some of Leo Kruger, and, you know, Adam Rose, I can mostly attribute that to bad booking, because when he first came out, he had a lot more personality and versatility, and it just wasn't a shill. But this, I don't know. Really, it does... To me, it doesn't matter which character you give him, as long as you give him something that other than the drivel he's been offered.
The way I looked at, I actually mentioned this to Brian, and I think to you actually, that the only way that Adam Rose can continue being Adam Rose is to throw him in a tag team, and I think I told you both this, with Zack Ryder, because they had a small feud going on, and then apparently at WrestleMania after the whole Battle Royal, there's a Twitter picture of them shaking hands saying, "We made peace." And I thought after that, hey, maybe we have a new tag team. It'll probably be as level as Los Matadores, but you know what? It gives them something to do. But
nope.
It turns out they didn't do that. They decided to give Adam Rose
Adam Rose.
Why am I blanking out on her name?
Oh, Rosa.
Yeah, Rosa Mendez. Why did
I forgot about that.
It's okay. So did WWE, because we haven't seen that since.
Well, hopefully there's enough groundswell from E60 in this little documentary that they'll actually get some actual decent attention to Adam Rose.
I actually like that it's ESPN that's really giving this documentary, because it's ESPN, and we all know how ESPN feels about WWE, and the fact that they actually went out of their way to talk about NXT and these guys. Good. I like it. I like the attention it's getting.
Oh yeah, these guys are legit as they come. I've also seen another documentary they did on Scott Hall before he got clean, and I know that there's some other stuff out there that's wrestling related, but hey, more power to you, ESPN. Love what you're doing. These things are great. Seriously.
Yeah.
And if you get the chance to watch it, I'm not sure where it is. I think I just saw like a replay on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I got to look into that.
Definitely check it out. It's great.
And it just shows how awesome NXT is. Just how the popularity it's getting. And
absolutely.
I applaud it. Golf clap.
Gotta love it.
Golf clap.
You know what else I love? WWE, speaking of which, is finally releasing a documentary on Owen Hart.
Oh, I get that joke. I got that joke dodge that you mentioned earlier. You were trying not to go Booker on us here.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Okay, I don't even know what you're referencing right now. I'm sure you're going to jog my memory.
It was last week when it was Neville versus, I think it was against Luke Harper during the King of the Ring tournament, and JBL says that he mentioned something about Owen Hart, and Booker T said that Owen didn't defy gravity.
Ooh.
And that caught a lot of attention, a lot of negative feedback on Booker, and he apologized after that, of course. But still, it's like, oh, sorry, too soon?
Yeah, always too soon.
For that situation, it'll always be too soon. But back to the documentary.
Yeah, back to the documentary. They are finally releasing this, apparently outside of the consent of Martha Hart.
Really?
Yeah. At first, a lot of the dirt sheets were reporting, she's finally allowing this to go through. Not so much.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard about this. I actually didn't know that she was like, no.
Yeah. Apparently, this is still being done without her consent, which I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure where the exact lines lie, what they can and can't do. But hey, I guess it's just something they're moving forward with. Personally, I would have loved to see this legit. If they do it and genuinely pay respect to Owen Hart, then maybe. But other than that, let's face it, they're just doing this for the money. As
long as it's not a self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior-esque documentary.
Oh, please.
If it's like that, then shame on you, WWE.
No chance. Absolutely no chance. They're going to risk too little. They're going to risk too much ill will. It can't happen. Not like that.
I hope not.
Nah. On the flip side of that, there are some people who just want to go all out and just tell every negative Nancy story that they got under their hats. One of these people is JTG. And you reacted with a little bit of surprise when I told you this, but JTG just recently wrote a book, which he released this week.
Yay?
See if you can guess the title of the book.
I don't care. But what is it?
The title of the book is Damn, Why'd I Write This Book?
Are you kidding me?
I am totally serious.
Oh my god.
And really it's just a collection of short stories that he wrote from his years on the road.
I never understood the popularity he had with the whole, he hasn't been fired yet, blah, blah, blah.
It's just become a running joke at that
To a point where people were actually legit pissed when he actually got fired. They were like, no, you can't fire the great one, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what great one? What was so great about him other than, I was going to say the primetime players, but what was the difference?
He never picked up his phone, so he couldn't be released. That's what's so great about it.
What was the stable he was in?
Crime Time.
Crime Time.
You don't remember Crime Time?
Oh, I remember Crime Time. I just didn't remember their name. I remember being at a whatever pay-per-view it was, and they came out holding a box of stuff that they stole.
Oh, that was Survivor Series. Yeah, I was there too.
Oh my god!
For Lita's last match.
That was Lita's last.
Yeah, that's why they came out like, yeah, we're gonna do a wholesale, and I was just like aghast. I was like, this is what they're doing for Lita's last match, really? But hey, that's neither here nor there.
Hey, she approved it.
Yeah, factually she did, but it doesn't mean I gotta like it. But yeah, I personally haven't read it myself, but hey, it's another entry into the whole.
Wait, you actually read it?
No, I've just seen a couple excerpts. I haven't actually read the entire thing back to forth yet, but it's relatively cheap and short. It's only like $2. It's gonna be released on Amazon next week, and it's just like a little collection of short stories here and there.
Another book signing for Bookends?
I don't think it's gonna be like an actual physical book, although I'm sure they can do that. It's probably just gonna be a pure digital release, like all on Kindle or something like that.
Oh, well, you're not gonna see me buying that.
Yeah,
I was never a fan of JTG.
There's excerpts around. He seems like a decent guy, but hey, just the fact that he wrote a book and it's called "Damn, Why'd I Write This Book?"
I was more of a Shad guy myself.
I always like JTG more. Either way, one last thing. I'm not sure if you heard about it. Apparently, Global Force Wrestling has made its first round of talent acquisitions.
I read about this. I didn't actually read the names. What do we got?
Well, among them, we got some independent talent. We have PJ Black, I believe his name is, the former Justin Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
We have the former Chris Masters on board.
Masters.
We've got Carl Anderson and the other guy of the Bullet Club, who's Luke Gallows, not Luke Gallows.
Not Luke Gallows.
Yeah, Carl Anderson and not Luke Gallows of the Bullet Club.
That should be his name from now. That's what we're going to call him from now on. Not Luke Gallows.
Not Luke Gallows. Oh, jeez. He's going to hate us for that.
Like he actually will actually listen.
No, you know what? We should just call him by the name that he uses in his podcasts.
What is he
Sex Ferguson.
Sex Ferguson.
Yes.
I like that.
Carl Anderson and Sex Ferguson.
That's what we're going to do. Sex Ferguson. I love it.
But you know what? That's not even the biggest acquisition that they have.
What is that?
For an analyst or a commentator, it's not very clear yet, but they did announce the recent acquisition of Chael Sonnen as a commentator.
And I
blew my mind.
I also heard there was going to be him and JR.
I heard, him and JR. I also heard another rumor going around that hasn't been substantiated yet. Again, this was not part of the press release, but there was talk of Stone Cold Steve Austin doing something that he could get something together for some project that he was not allowed to talk about yet. Probably because it hasn't been finalized or finished. But a lot of people are spreading the rumors that maybe they could be getting Steve Austin for the commentary desk.
Interesting.
Not sure if there's any truth to that yet, but
That's actually...
I don't think it's very likely, but it would be really cool to see. And it certainly would put a lot of eyes on Global Force.
Mm-hmm. Since, all the eyes are drifting away from TNA.
Oh, please, don't even get me started on TNA.
I just read the whole thing about... This is a little late entry of Backstage News, of them pulling their China tour.
Yeah, and they cut like another peripheral show about, that was supposedly being led by Mike Tenay. Destination America is really unhappy with the deal that they committed to with TNA. It's, again, I didn't want to dwell on TNA, but yeah, we've been saying TNA was heading downhill for a long time now, so me personally, I'm not going to call it dead until it actually goes out of business and sells all its assets, but yeah, the end is in sight. I got nothing to say.
Now because you said that, the end is near.
Brown, 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 brown.
Sorry, I had to.
You feeling better now?
I actually do.
Okay.
That put a smile on my face.
Okay. We know what put a smile on my face this next segment for Monday Night Raw.
Bigger smile.
Because you know what we get first? The first match right out of the gate? A New Day segment.
I actually really liked this. As please stop.
Okay.
If you've listened to this show before, I've made it perfectly clear I've never been a fan of the New Day. When they actually came in as the New Day, I liked the fact that they were just angry wrestlers voicing their opinions, but apparently that went nowhere very fast, and they went back to singles for a little bit, and then they finally got the group back together for Reverend Devon meeting.
It was some vague gospel happy thing.
Like I said, Reverend Devon, I'm going to say meeting the Spirit Squad.
I guess.
Because they're trying to get all the crowd. Yeah, we're cheering for everyone because we're so happy and we like the positivity. Or in this case, the positivita.
Hey, at least now with what they're doing, they actually do have direction and personality, because they're coming out and they're talking down Orton and Roman Reigns, and they're doing a damn good job of it.
Oh, they did a very good job. I was very happy with this segment.
Yeah, I love this segment. They're finally doing something constructive, and they're healing it up, and I love all these guys.
Hell, they're legitimizing their tag team champions as top heels.
Yeah, I love it.
I actually really approve this, and it was actually a pretty fun match.
Which the New Day actually won.
Which I
never expected.
I was saying, the only way for this segment to have worked is if the New Day would have won. And after that, I'm just like, yes, this is what needs to be done. And out comes Kane saying, oh, you guys are going to have a singles match as the main event later.
Okay.
Have fun, guys.
As the biggest Canaanite that I know, what do you think of this recent face turn for Kane?
I'm loving every second of this whole storyline with Kane. I am loving every second of this. I never had a problem with Kane being the director of operations. It was kind of like, there was one point where he was just a bigger, muscular version of J&J Security, which I didn't like how they were booking him as that. But now that he's actually putting his authority, wink wink, nudge nudge, in action, I'm just like, this is what they should have been doing since the beginning, instead of turning him into another J&J Security. And I like that they're pointing out, well, it all started out with them pointing out his flaws, that he hasn't been winning. And it's like, Big Show winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and Kane being Kane. And I'm just like, oh wait, are they actually gonna do something with Kane? And every time Kane said something, from electrocuting Jamie Noble's testicles to saying that if we had our way, El Torito would be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I was having so much fun with everything Kane is saying, and it's not really a full-on face turn. He's just playing both. He's playing both sides to a point where, like, he's choke slamming Orton, but then he's also choking Seth Rollins. Choke slamming Seth Rollins. to a point where he's playing both, and he's completely messing with Seth Rollins, and I'm loving every second of this. I'm loving this little mini rivalry with Kane and Seth Rollins, and it's working beautifully.
Yeah, such is the apparent cycle of Kane overness. As soon as Kane gets stale or played out, he does something that just reins you back in.
Well, when he doesn't do anything, it's because they're just not booking him to do anything. He's just a lackey. And Kane is so much more than that. He's such a great talker, and he really presents himself as an authority figure, but still having the demon Kane inside, just exposing himself every once in a while. Phrasing.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, okay, scramble for a joke. Scramble for a joke. Go, go, go.
I already beat you ahead of that one. Phrasing.
Phrasing.
But yeah, this whole segment with Seth Rollins versus Kane, and now Kane actually being the authority figure while Triple H and Stephanie are away, it's working. It really is.
It's working for me too, and I love it. Especially once we get what we end up seeing later on. Moving on, we get a segment with Ryback and Bray Wyatt. I'm not quite sure what to feel about this feud just yet.
Well, the one real thing is, it's kind of not going. It's not going anywhere just yet. It's Ryback giving a response, and I actually texted you this during Raw about this segment. How it was like Ryback is actually talking really well on the mic, and he's kind of rehashing his promo about how he hurt his leg and having to rebuild himself.
Yeah, positivity.
And I take negativity and I eat it to become positivity. I don't know why. That just reminded me of the Joe Schmo show. I don't want pictures of negativity. I only want pictures of positivity. If any of you still remember the Joe Schmo show, wasn't that fun? Okay. Okay, brain fart. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm
drifting off.
About the Joe Schmo show.
I'm probably still the only person who actually wants to meet Matt Kennedy Gould.
Anyway,
moving on.
Ryback Wyatt.
I liked it. I hated that the fans were kind of, well, better term, shitting all over it. They were really not in it. Montreal was doing the whole Goldberg chant, which people haven't been doing for months. And it was like, stop being behind in times. No, he's not a Goldberg ripoff. When he first came in as Ryback with the whole undefeated streak, yeah, it kind of makes sense because they were kind of booking him as a Goldberg-esque character. But that's not what they're doing now. He's Ryback.
Yeah, but thankfully, Ryback, in my opinion, just in this one promo alone, he was reacting off the crowd and the Goldberg chant stopped.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I liked.
He's gotten a lot better.
He got the crowd to stop the Goldberg chants, but they were still kind of booing him after that.
Yeah.
But then Bray Wyatt came out. Well, didn't come out. He showed up on the Titantron and he...
Cryptic
messages.
What you are. Boo, 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 boo.
Here's the one thing that I like that's kind of disappointing me of what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. He's doing a lot of talking, which he's very good at, but he hasn't been really messing with Ryback until SmackDown when he was in a 6-man tag match with Cesaro and Kid versus The New Day, where his little showed up and it messed with Ryback and it got him distracted and he got taken out. Stemming from that, I want to see Bray Wyatt become a mixture of The Undertaker and the Scarecrow from Batman. How he's like kind of like a Scarecrow-esque, feeding on like the fear that he's there somewhere with the Titantron, that he's messing with him. It's like, where is he? Is he here? Is he here? Kind of feeding on Ryback's fear that he could show up at any time. I hope that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression that this is, for Ryback and Bray Wyatt, I'm getting the impression that this is going to be, you can almost see them progressing and improving at certain points. And it's almost weird for me to say this because I don't think we've been in this position for quite a while. But as far as this feud goes, I feel like both guys need a win here. Like, unless they pull some really serious stuff and they just get really creative with their booking, one of these guys is going to be made to look weak. And I think Bray Wyatt needs it more.
Oh, I agree. Bray Wyatt does need it more because, one thing, Ryback has been really getting the low end of the stick for the past couple of months. But you know what? I don't think it's hurting him that much. But I feel like with Bray Wyatt, he does a lot of talking, but he ends up on the shorter end of the stick with, like, one thing, having his match with Taker, having him build the entire feud up to what we got at WrestleMania.
Okay. I know we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording today, but you mentioned a little something that happened on SmackDown. Something about Luke Harper, or was it Eric Rowan who interfered in...
What happened...
They interfered in each other's matches or something like that?
What happened was, it was just a match between Luke Harper and Fandango. Normal one-on-one match, and the match ended with Luke Harper getting a clean victory. After Luke Harper's victory, he did his whole celebration, like him lifting his hand. All of a sudden, Eric Rowan comes out, sheet mask and all, and then he gets in the ring, takes off the sheet mask, and attacks Fandango. With Harper just watching it. He was no reaction. He was just like, well, you can't see my face, but it was kind of he just had a blank face, and also the small hint of kind of enjoying what he was seeing. But no physical reaction between the two guys. And it ends with Rowan leaving after the beatdown, and that was it. Are they hinting at a reunion with Harper and Rowan? Maybe. I kind of hope that's what they're doing.
I think we're looking at a potential reformation of the entire Wyatt family. If only because of there's a new T-shirt coming out for Bray Wyatt. I think it says something like, follow the light, it will lead you back home, which a lot of people have been saying that it might be hinting at a reunion of the Wyatt family.
As happy as I'll be for that, I kind of don't want it to happen. At least not now. I want Bray Wyatt to really continue on this path alone. There, he doesn't need the family to back him up. Because one thing, when he late in the whole Wyatt family, I felt like the Harper and Rowan were more, as a better term, was holding Bray back. And now look what happened after Bray Wyatt broke off with the family. He had a pretty fun feud. Well, I thought it was fun. People didn't find it fun, a feud with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked that.
I liked it. There were people who didn't like it, because it took away Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, and the fact that Dean Ambrose didn't win the feud. I was happy with either of them winning, but seeing where Dean Ambrose is now, Bray definitely needed that win a lot more.
Oh yeah, well again, we're going to get to that later on.
Oh yeah,
just a bit.
But when it comes to the final note on Bray Wyatt versus Ryback, both guys do need the win, but I feel like Bray Wyatt definitely deserves it more because, one thing, Ryback is in a position where I don't think he can, the losses will hurt him. I feel like he's on good graces with backstage to a point where he could still be thrown into high number feuds to a point where he doesn't need this loss won't hurt him.
I can see that, but again, I think I'm not sure if it's just us that's paying so much attention to Bray Wyatt or if it's just that visible that he needs a win. But anyway, I'm still pulling for Wyatt. I hope he wins this thing. Either way, these guys will produce. I know they will.
I hope that they'll have their own creative points on this and not just, let's listen to what creative has to say in the back and we'll just follow it. Pawn move forward.
Boom. Anyway, moving on. We also got tonight, right after this, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd beating the Ascension. Did you have something to say about this one?
All I could say is Cesaro is the man. The whole throw to the turnbuckle uppercut, throw to the turnbuckle uppercut, throw to the turnbuckle uppercut, throw to the turnbuckle uppercut. I'm loving every second of it. As for the Ascension, they were great in NXT. They had a horrible debut on the main roster, and they just are continuously going downhill from here.
They got Emma'd.
They really did. Oh, I really hate to say it, but they really did get Emma'd. And here's did you listen to last week's show?
I caught most of it, yeah.
Did you hear about the idea that I threw with Wade Barrett?
Oh yeah, you mentioned something about maybe he should get some sort of a court.
Like something similar to what...
yeah, you said something about the Ascension should be their knights.
The Ascension should be his knights. He should Wade Barrett should form his own little stable of the sort of like the Bad News Court, and having the Ascension be his his two knights, and then have just a third one being kind of Wade Barrett's right hand man. Something similar to JBL's.
His
wow, what
his
was
cabinet? Or
his
something.
That's what it was. JBL's cabinet, something similar to that, and hopefully having a new stable to be the leader of. Hopefully would like rebound him into main event level, which I feel like winning the King of the Ring should.
Yeah, if nothing else, at least as far as the Ascension are concerned, it was certainly I like the ideas just because it sounded like it would be giving them something to do, and it would be giving them just enough of a reboot and a purpose to sort of jumpstart them again, which I think they desperately need.
I think they desperately need it too.
That being said, I love the Montreal crowd for this kind of a team, and it seemed like this is one of those matches where everything was working in concert. You could tell that Cesaro and Kid were going to go over. The Ascension, made them look good, and the crowd was into it. Everything gelled. I'm
actually happy that they turned Cesaro and Kid face, but not making it so like, oh, big turn. It was just a subtle turn because they were facing the New Day, and the New Day cheated them in their match. That was their face turn. Because we saw how awesome Cesaro and Kid are with the Usos. They put on great matches. So us as fans respect Tyson and Cesaro, Kid and Cesaro, because they actually put effort into their tag team. They were two guys that were thrown together, but they actually made it work.
Brass Ring Club, baby.
Brass Ring Club, baby. I love them. And they got respect from the crowd, which really they kind of already had, but having their big-time matches with the Usos being the top heel tag team helped give a good rub that... Ooh, excuse me. Mm-hmm. When they lost to the New Day, they were just like, these guys got screwed out of it. Now we want to see them get back. They're pretty much in the Usos spot right now, and they're not being like they're not being the John Cena-esque faces. I see them being more Randy Orton face.
I can see that. I know what you're talking about. You know what? I dig it.
I actually dig it too, and I actually like the feud between New Day and Cesaro and Kid.
Yes. Here's to hopefully a lot more better matches.
And I
know that's not grammatically correct. Leave me alone.
Back to what I said. It's helped legitimizing the tag team division.
Speaking of legitimization, or whatever that word is, this next match really caught me off guard. Because what was it like Kane who said, okay, let's do a fatal four. Let's get ready to do a for number one contenders match where if Dean Ambrose wins, he's gonna go in the match. And I'm just thinking, okay, whatever. So we got this match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like another throwaway thing. Whatever. These guys deserve better. I was all ready to poo on this match when all of a sudden, roll up 1, 2, 3 pin. Dean Ambrose is going into the main event at Payback to wrestle for the title. It's now a fatal 4-way. This actually happened. And I'm just sitting here like, wait, what?
Wait, I gotta stop you right there. You were actually crapping all over this match?
I was expecting crap. I was expecting chicken poop, and instead I got chicken salad.
Okay.
I was not because I don't like these guys, or don't think they could put on a bad match, but given how hyped up this match would have been a year ago, to see it reduced to this date, it just didn't sit well with me. I'm just really surprised that we ended up getting what we got out of this.
Well, they were continuing this whole situation from what happened on SmackDown. And Kane's, Seth Rollins, I forgot how this match came about. I think it was happened backstage or something that Kane automatically says, okay, you're going to have a rematch with Dean Ambrose, and J&J Security are out of it because Seth Rollins talks too much. And, of course, Seth Rollins is on his way down, and then he gets an interview by Renee on his way to the ring. He's like, well, Kane is being stupid or something like that, or Kane's an idiot. Commercial. Seth Rollins comes out, Dean Ambrose comes out, Kane comes out, and he's like, you know what? Let's add a little flavor to this. If Dean Ambrose wins, it's a fatal 4-way. As soon as that happened, I immediately thought Dean Ambrose is going to win. That was my first initial thought, and I was like, oh my god, really? Dean was in this match?
My first initial thought was, nah, that's too much of a tease. There's no way they're going to do it. And then they did it.
And really, I was into this match. This match
I.
was awesome. This was a pay-per-view quality match. It really was. This was better than their Hell in a Cell match at last year's Hell in a Cell.
I'm not sure if I would go that far, but it's definitely up there.
It was so good. Everything, they were at the right mark every single time. This match was just beautifully executed. And then J&J Security came out after, what was it, his whatever clothesline off the ropes that Dean Ambrose does?
Yeah, the rebound clothesline.
Does that have a name?
I've just been calling it the Nigel clothesline because it was popularized by Nigel McGuinness.
Okay. And then all of a sudden, roll up pin. I literally jumped out of my seat and just going, yes!
I was just like wait,
wow.
What? Did that really happen?
I'm like, yes! Payback really is worth watching! And
yeah,
I'm just
I kind of want to see that now.
And now, I'm like, hopefully this will actually keep Dean Ambrose in the main event picture.
I think it might. I personally...
what else can Dean Ambrose do? He was in so much of a dead space, having a rivalry with Luke Harper. Man, the Taco Bell really got me gassy. But at least it's on the top end.
Yes, thank you. At least I'm blaming the Mountain Dew for that one.
He's had just a filler match with Luke Harper, which I told Brian yesterday, it was so much fun, very creative. I had so much fun with that Extreme Chicago street fight that they had at Extreme Rules. And now he's actually put in the main event where I feel like he really should belong. And I was telling Brian last week how I feel like they should add more people to the WWE World Heavyweight title storyline. Because they need more than just 3 guys. Because really, it's been just 3 guys since WrestleMania.
It really has, but I think this is a great way to do it. And personally, afterward, I would not be shocked if they end up dropping Randy Orton from the title picture and they end up just going with a Shield triple threat. That
would be really awesome. That actually was my WrestleMania main event last year. I would have loved to have seen that, and I cannot wait for that match to actually happen.
I think it's still in the cards, personally, but we'll have to see when the time comes.
And I'll just end it. This match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, it was match of the night for me.
Really?
Yeah. Even more than I'm going to segue into it. I actually had more fun with this match than I did with John Cena versus Sami Zayn with the United States Open Challenge.
Yeah, you know what? This one, just when this match was first announced and John Cena was doing his whole U.S. Championship Open Challenge, which I've really been enjoying, by the way.
Me too.
It just sort of slowly crept up on me because I was like, wait a minute. They're in Montreal. Wait a minute. The crowd is chanting Olay. Wait a minute. They wouldn't do it, and then, we got Sami Zayn.
Well, first you get Bret Hart trying to introduce him, which I kind of saw this, like, Bret Hart is continuously saying the same line over and over again.
Yeah.
And I feel like, are they missing a sound cue here? And then out comes Heath Slater being, Heath Slater and getting knocked out with a microphone. Because he's a freak with a microphone. But yeah.
Huh? What?
That's how worthless Heath Slater is. Waste of time firing.
And then it was just like, blah, blah, blah. Sami Zayn.
But yeah, Sami Zayn! Like, oh my! This is going to be very interesting. And
he popped his shoulder right away.
And he popped his shoulder, and it was a very, very sloppy match.
I didn't think it was that sloppy.
Oh,
it was...
Okay, let me fix that again. It wasn't super sloppy, but it had moments where it was sloppy, like Sami Zayn trying to reverse the attitude adjustment and landing on his ass.
Okay, that's just one moment. But again, when you look at the match as a whole, when he was wrestling with a separated shoulder and it was still doing these lightning fast high spots, and he personally, separated shoulder or no, I thought Sami Zayn looked like $1 million in this match. $1 million? $1 million. Yes, he looked like $1 million in this match.
Yeah, he
thinking
did.
about Booker T there, but yeah, this is by far my match of the night. Sami Zayn looked like he deserved to be there. He kicked out of the AA. It took 2 to take him down. Oh man, he hit that crazy jump swing DDT through the turnbuckle. It was beautiful.
That was beautiful. That was the moment that really, like, that was my highlight of that match. And kicking out of the first AA, I'm just like, wow, really? Damn, they are really in with Sami Zayn, and I love it. But like I said, I was into the match, but I was into Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins a lot more.
And you know what? I can't disagree with that. Personally, I think both of these matches were major high points for the entire night. And hey,
definitely pay-per-view quality matches.
Yeah, both these guys really are all producing great work, and I really have nothing to complain about at all.
They really are getting great superstars coming from NXT. They really are.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of NXT, lead us into our next match. We got Wade Barrett and Sheamus going over Ziggler and Neville for some reason.
That's okay. On SmackDown, they had Neville and Ziggler go over Barrett and Sheamus.
Okay, so they're basically just exchanging wins over here.
They are really filling in the blank, or filling the void with these 4 guys. Mainly just because Daniel Bryan's out and about.
Definitely, yeah.
That's the only reason. These 4 guys would probably be in the Intercontinental title picture if Daniel Bryan was still around.
Yeah, they'll probably end up doing like some sort of revolving thing with that. But again, that's another bridge where we're gonna have to cross when we come to it. Hopefully, they will be matched with someone next at I was about to say Extreme Rules. Did they? Payback. Anyway, at least for Neville, I think he really needs a mainline WWE pay-per-view at this point.
Not a pre-show.
Not a pre-show. Absolutely not. And now we come to our main event. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, which ended in a DQ. Brawl. And thus the streak of me turning off the main event of Raw continues.
Well,
guilt-free.
Well, you missed Dean Ambrose coming out, saving, and then pretty much the 4 guys in the main event taking each other out, leaving Dean Ambrose standing tall.
Okay, I did miss that.
Yeah, it ends with the show ends with Dean Ambrose being, yeah, that's right, I'm awesome.
Huh? Maybe they actually will do something with Dean Ambrose, or is it just another red herring?
And then they had the contract signing on SmackDown, which kind of went the same way, except this time Seth Rollins was the one that came out on top, standing tall. I like they're actually making each superstar look legitimate. And now, next week, it will probably just be like Orton looking strong, and then Reigns looking strong. Wait, isn't next week the pay-per-view?
Is it? You know what? You're right. I think it might actually be the pay-per-view.
Oh my god, we actually do have a prediction show.
It happened again.
Week. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, we are so behind on this.
Oh, wow. I think we all just are sort of suffering emotional whiplash that we're actually getting invested in a not A-list pay-per-view for once.
Well, this is an actual pay-per-view that is building up to be pretty well, even though there's only 2 matches announced.
Oh, you know that they're going to be adding a lot.
Oh yeah, they're probably going to be adding like all the other matches,
especially after this week. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I have since that ends Raw, we gotta talk about our boy Sandow.
For some reason I kept thinking that you were going to be covering Sandow last week, so I wasn't expecting to talk about Sandow, but yeah. the patron saint of this show is back.
Did you miss what happened this week on Main Event?
Oh yeah, Macho Man Dow.
Macho Man Dow having a feud with Axelmania.
Wow.
Wow. My first response is why, and hopefully this will only happen with Axel. Hopefully after this he has his he goes back to Sandow. He pretty much becoming Macho Man Dow just to make fun of Axel, and hopefully it was a one-time deal. Mm-hmm. Because I actually talked about this with Brian last week, how he has a new theme song,
which is awesome.
Well, at first, when we did the recording last week, I never heard it before. I couldn't get a good hear of it, so I'm like, is it some generic music? And then I finally listened to it. It's a rocker version of Hallelujah, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is awesome! This is a really awesome song. I can't wait to hear him come out to this. And then I see the pictures from people at Main Event, Macho Man Dow, and I'm like, oh god, no! I hope no.
On the bright side, have you seen the Titantron video of that?
No.
It's just a still shot of his photo in the frame looking smug.
Oh, the Hallelujah rocker?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that. I thought you meant the Macho Man Dow Titantron.
No.
But yes, I saw that one. I actually looked it up on YouTube just on that particular video. I'm like, I gotta listen to this. And then I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. And I love the video. And I love it's the picture of him. I love it. I can't wait to see where he goes from here.
Oh, man.
And then we get Macho Man Dow, which I hopefully is just a one-time thing for Axelmania. And then Axelmania can move on to the Ultimate Broski.
Honestly, if only.
That's the only way I can see this whole thing with Axelmania keep going. Him having a feud with Zack Ryder as the Ultimate Broski.
I only have one last thing to say about Damien Sandow right now. As far as his other little gimmick, for a second there, I didn't know it was Macho Man Dow, and for a second there, I thought his new name was going to be Damien Mandow. Like a man.
Like a man.
Such a man.
Such a man.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I realized, he's just going back into the...
He's pulling a Jay Lethal.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, but really, like I said, I hopefully this is just so he can move on, kind of teasing with Axel trying to be Hulk Hogan.
I just think it's just that.
I think it's just
sort of testing the waters to see what is more sustainable as far as a gimmick goes, and what can still be more over. I think that's all that.
The one thing about last week with Sandow, his little promo, which was beautiful. I think Brian and I made that. Wait, did we talk? I don't remember talking about it, but we did. I talked to him. I don't know if it was on the show. Mm-hmm. How his promo was awesome.
That was tremendous. Everything was spot on.
Everything was spot on. And before that, when he had his whole match with Miz for the Miz name, I actually wanted to see it done a different way, to which point Sandow loses on purpose, to where he's having a match with Miz and you just see him looking around, just looking at the crowd going like, I don't need to be here. And then he just steps and walks away. And he's just yelling, keep it! I don't need it! And then he has his promo next week saying, going back, pretty much, people have been comparing it to Ryback's first promo, about him looking back on his career as the savior of the masses, and then the whole multi-gimmick thing, the return of Magneto Dow,
whatever that was.
When he was Magneto. Cerebro.
He just Magneto. Actually, he just called himself Magneto. It's just the way he said it. I am Magneto.
And then having Curtis Axel come out as Axelmania, and then Damien Sandow's like, what are you doing? You are just having an identity crisis. That is all you have. You are trying to make a name for yourself through someone else's name. You don't need to do that. Pretty much Sandow's like, I've lived through that. You don't have to be someone else. You have to get over with the crowd. You just have to be yourself. And that's what starts the feud. And then have Macho Man Dow pretty much make fun of him, beat Axel, and be done with it. And then he's back to Damien Sandow, and then he'll slowly rise back up.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they're finally doing something with Damien Sandow again, and he's over in a big way.
He was the
walking
one...
great. He's talking great. He really is Damien Sandow.
You know what? I really hope... I was actually... Like, I would have preferred this on Raw. He was the one... Sandow was the only thing that was missing on Raw for me.
Absolutely. Then again, I'm biased. So.
But that actually would have gave my Raw rating, my facial hair rating for Raw, a goat face. Just because I had so much fun with this Raw. But instead, they had to do the whole R-Truth versus Stardust and the whole Spiders thing.
Which I loved, but I won't get into that.
I don't want to get into that either,
right.
Because it was just ridiculous. That's main event thing. Damien Sandow coming in as Macho Man Savage would have been... I felt like that was more Raw than... spiders! Ah! Gotta run away from the rubber spiders, make myself look like an idiot! Ah!
Okay.
But yeah, that's just my feelings on that.
Okay, so going back real quick to your overall beard ratings for Raw. What was your beard rating for this? Raw?
Because Sandow was out of it, but just what was presented, I'm just going to give it a full beard. It was a very fun Raw, had awesome pay-per-view quality matches, but it was still like, I felt like something else was missing to elevate it to that goat face, and I felt like what they did for main event with Sandow and Axel should have been there, other than being on a network show for main event. They should have been on actual TV. Because really, the whole thing with R-Truth and Stardust is just stupid and pointless. Because it's just a waste of time kiddie feud.
Okay, I was about to agree with you wholeheartedly until I realized, you know what? This is far, far better than most Raws we normally get. I'm just going to I got to give this one a goat face. As far as Raws go, compared to other shows, yeah, it was definitely a full beard. But as far as Raws go, among Raws, this is definitely a full beard. Not full beard, a goat face in my eyes. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, like I said, just add the Damien Sandow Axel bit on Raw and then switch that with R-Truth and Stardust on main event. That would have been a goat face for me. Everything else I actually had fun with this Raw. It was such a great Raw. This was the first Raw. Well, last week's Raw was pretty good too, with the King of the Ring tournament being the main focus of it. But when it comes to Raw being Raw, this was the best Raw.
This was Raw.
This was a Raw show.
Absolutely, and I loved it.
And like all the other shows, since before Extreme Rules was getting like peach fuzz, clean shaven. This is what Raw should be every week.
Absolutely. Wow, what a Raw.
And what a rush.
What a rush. But you know what? You've heard enough of us talk. We want to hear from you guys. So, of course, drop us a line at any of the usual spots. Of course, you can comment on this video on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel if you want to see more, or even if you just like us. We love that, too. You can also find us on our Facebook page at just run a search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Like us there too. And of course, you can also follow us on Twitter at any of our respective Twitter handles. They're probably going to be right on your screen now in an annotation or something. We're getting pretty good at that, I think. At least more consistent.
We're trying, yeah.
We're trying.
We're slowly evolving.
Yes.
With each rising from the ashes, we're slowly evolving.
Yes. Slowly evolving, just like the patron saint of this show, Damien Sandow.
There you go.
And just like him, we know who we are. There's no identity crisis here. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome. That was a pretty nice closing there, guys.
Yeah, I do what I can.
And now,
see you guys at Payback.
And now Taco Bell is coming back to haunt me.
Oh,
Bye,
no,
everybody!
Run!